Imagine you run a small business, and you're in a lawsuit with another company. Now let's say just before the trial starts, you find out the judge hearing your case has been an advisor to the company you're suing, for which he's been paid a decent amount of money. Is there any circumstance in which you think you might get a fair trial? Of course not. But it's not something that would ever happen, right? Because any judge with such a blatant conflict of interest would be required to recuse himself. Well, that scenario, minus the recusal, is pretty much standard operating procedure in the United States Congress. Our representatives vote on issues that affect organizations they take money from all the time. Conflicts of interest? Hey, that's the price of admission in Congress. Here's an example. In 2013, following the Sandy Hook massacre, legislation requiring universal background checks, basically closing the gun show loophole, failed in Congress, despite over 90% of Americans being in favor of the bill. How is it that our representatives can get away with voting against their overwhelming will of their constituents? You guessed it, because they took money from the NRA. Well, this country has had a long history of battling money and politics. Every time laws were passed to rein it in, loopholes were found. I won't bore you with all that history, but in recent years there were two important milestones. In 2002, President Bush signed the McCain-Feingold Act, which explicitly prohibited party soft money and required candidates to stand by their ads. That's why you always hear them say, "I'm so-and-so, and I approve this message." That was good. But in 2010, the Supreme Court issued the infamous Citizens United ruling, which basically said that corporations are people, and allowing them to spend money, virtually unlimited amounts of money, on campaign ads. That ruling helped usher in the era of the super PAC and the explosion in political spending by nonprofits that don't have to disclose their donors. That's what we call dark money, and it's as bad as it sounds. Many experts believe that this single issue is at the root of most of the problems we have in government, especially in Congress. Lawrence Lessig, one of the leading scholars in this area, explains this problem in great detail in his book, Republic Lost, and his TED Talk, We the People, and the Republic We Must Reclaim. We need to get corporate money out of politics. Only then will we have a Congress that reflects the wishes of the people. I'm proud to join the growing list of candidates who refuse to accept PAC or corporate money. Let's send a message that our elections and our representatives are not for sale. That's where I stand on this issue. I invite you to join us as we work to fix our broken democracy. I'm Jonathan Lewis, and I'm running for Congress.